Saving your first $10,000 sounds impossible, but $417 sounds like it's a car payment. Same goal, same money, but completely different feeling. And that's the whole problem with saving your first $10,000. You look at the entire number at once, decide it's out of reach, and you never actually start saving. There's always something that you need to pay for that comes before saving your first $10,000. So I'm not going to tell you to stop buying coffee. Your $6 latte is not the reason why you cannot save your first $10,000. What I'm going to do is show you exactly how I would build my first $10,000 on a normal salary. The whole timeline, where the money comes from, where to save it, and how to stop rating your savings when something happens in your life. First thing I would do is pick a timeline, because simply saying I want to save $10,000 isn't really a plan. It's basically a wish with dollar sign on it. So if you want to save $10,000 in 12 months, that's $833 per month. 18 months, $556 a month, and 24 months is $417 a month. I'm going to use the 24 months for this video, and there's nothing wrong with picking the slow one. Personal finance content has this way of making us feel like everything needs to be done by next week. Pay off the debt immediately, max out all the accounts immediately, and have 6 months of your expenses covered and retire by 50. Relax, your life is not a financial emergency. If $417 is realistic for you, great. If not, pick a smaller number and figure out your timeline from there. If you can only start with $250, that's okay, start with $250. Your timeline gets longer, and that's the entire consequence. So instead of having this $10,000 goal in your mind, make that number a lot smaller. Because having a smaller number makes this goal much more achievable. So 2 questions I hear pretty often whenever I talk about saving your first $10,000. So the first question I get is, should I do this if I have credit card debt with high interest rate? And to that, I would say mostly no. Having, let's say, even like 24% interest on your credit card debt is a guaranteed loss. No savings account will out-earn. But I wouldn't go zero savings either. The reason people go back into credit card debt is because they don't have any savings when their car breaks down. So what I recommend in this case is have a small savings cushion first, about $1,000, then focus on paying off your credit card debt. Once that's paid off, come back and start saving towards your $10,000 goal. It's basically the same system, it's just sequenced. Second question is, how about the 401k match? If your employer offers 401k match, absolutely prioritize that first, because that's a guaranteed return you won't get anywhere else. Take the match first and then return to your savings with whatever you have left over. So after you figure out your timeline, let's look at where you can start cutting. This is the biggest place I would break from the traditional budgeting advice. I wouldn't even try to save $8 here, $12 there, and $15 over there. It's so exhausting. It's impossible to sustain, and it makes managing your money like a second job you didn't sign up for. But instead, I'd find 3 meaningful places to cut from. But first, you need about 10 to 15 minutes with your 2 to 3 months of statements. Not to track every single dollar for the rest of your life, just enough information for you to understand your own spending habits. And sort everything into 5 buckets: housing and bills, food, transportation, shopping and personal, and lastly, travel, entertainment, and everything else. These are 5, not 40 different categories. Then ask yourself one question. If I need to find $417 a month, where would it realistically come from? And I'm not asking where you can eliminate spending. I'm asking where you can find space. These are different questions and different answers. So maybe it looks like this. Dining and delivery, $175. Shopping and personal, $150. subscription and reoccurring $100, and those equal to $425. And that's your $417 with a little bit of cushion, which you do want because you may not hit this number perfectly every single month. And here's a part that actually matters. The problem isn't that you're irresponsible with money. It's just that you're tired. You work all week and Friday comes, you tell yourself you earned a nice dinner out. Saturday might be your shopping day, and Sunday becomes DoorDash because you went out the night before or you don't have any groceries. So the fix isn't never to do those things. The fix is guardrails. Eat out every weekend if you want, but maybe for that month, cut back on shopping. 1 or 2 real changes will move your savings more than obsessing over small purchases ever will. Be careful because it gets sneakier once you start making more money. You get a raise or you get a bonus, you upgrade the apartment, you go on slightly nicer trips, you go to nicer restaurants, you upgrade your wardrobe. Your bigger salary starts to feel like your old salary. That's lifestyle inflation. You don't have to eliminate it. You just want your savings to grow when your lifestyle does. You get a 5% raise, save half of the 5%. And if you go through your statements and there's genuinely nothing to cut, that means your lever is income, not your spending. The next is the part that no one talks about. Let's say you've been saving for months and you have $4,000 in your savings, which is fantastic. Then Christmas happens, your savings goes back down to $3,000. And then you climb back to $4,500. Then you book a wedding weekend trip back to $3,200. And somewhere in there, you think to yourself, why can't I get ahead? Your savings habit is fine. The problem is you're running one account for 2 completely different jobs. There are emergencies and there are expenses that you plan ahead. Christmas is not an emergency. Vacation plan is also not an emergency. Those need their own money and you need to have a separate savings for those events. You don't need 5 bank accounts, maybe 2. Usually the banks allow you to name your own savings accounts. You can have one for emergencies and another one for planned expenses. Psychologically, having 2 separate savings accounts changes everything because now when the December shows up, you spend the Christmas money. And the $10,000 fund just sits there. It's $10,000. The next step on saving your first $10,000 is automated, so you don't have to decide. Once you know your monthly number, that's $417 in this case, just automate it. Do not leave it to your future self, especially if you think you're gonna forget about it. If it's $417 per month, I would transfer about $200 out of your checking account into your savings the day after your payday. Or to make it even easier, just direct deposit straight into your savings account. I would treat your savings like a bill. Like your rent gets paid, your utility gets paid, so does your savings account. Whatever that is left after getting these bills paid is what you have left to spend. And once you set up the system, let's talk about where you can actually put it. For this first $10,000, the money meant to be your cash reserve, I would put this in a high yield savings account. Not in stocks, not in the market, not in crypto, and definitely not in your checking account. A separate insured savings account, liquid, accessible, and slightly out of sight. And here's a small thing that makes a real difference. Goose savings accounts are paying about 4% interest rate right now. At 4%, the account does some of the work for you. You'd only need about $400 per month to hit $10,000 in 24 months. And if you save the full $417 anyway, you cross $10,000 around month 23. You finish a month early for doing nothing. And why savings and not investments? Because the job of this money isn't to maximize your return. Let's say your car needs about $1,500 of work. There's a medical bill that you need to pay for, and your family member gets sick and you need to be on a flight next day. Cash buys you options. Also want to point out a couple of things that make this dramatically dramatically easier. First, not every single dollar has to come from your paycheck. There could be a tax refund, a bonus, selling some furniture or old laptop, and most people treat unexpected dollar like it's free money. But decide ahead of time how much you want to save from this unexpected cash. Pick a percentage, let's say half. If you get a $2,000 bonus, you put the $1,000 towards your $10,000 fund, and you enjoy the other $1,000 guilt-free. So you may reach your goal well before the 24 months if you have some of the irregular funds hitting your savings account. Second, you don't stare at the $10,000. Set milestones. First 1,000, 2,500, 5,000, 7,500, and 10,000. When you set milestones, you get more motivated when you hit these milestones. And something useful happens when you have a few $1,000s sitting in your savings account. You get more protective of it. And saving more money gets easier once you have money saved. Starting is usually the hardest part because there's almost no emotional reward when you see your account go from $20 to $200. But when you see your account go from $4,800 to $6,000, now you really feel the reward and you don't want to stop at that. Now you don't want to break the streak. So gamify it, celebrate the milestones, and just don't celebrate your $5,000 milestone by spending $2,000. So let's recap quickly. Number one, pick a timeline, say 24 months. If you can do it quicker, great. Number two, do the math, about $417 per month. Number three, find 3 levers, not 20 small cuts. Number four, automate the transfer on payday. Number five, give windfalls a small percentage in advance. Number six, sinking funds for predictable expenses. And number seven, set milestones and celebrate. And remember, your first 10,000 won't come from one dramatic decision. It comes from small decisions that you make every single day. If you're working towards your first $10,000 savings, please comment below and let me know. If you like the video, please hit the like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.